Namaste everyone. Today I'm going to share um, how I was drawn to Maharaj ji. I was not somebody who believed in God, and sometimes I did and sometimes I didn't. Like if I wanted something and I was in a problem, I believed that there is God, and I prayed for some days or some weeks. And once the problem was over, my suffering was over, I was back to my normal. Okay, fine, I don't know whether there is God, there is no God, I don't know. I was raised in a very religious family, and my parents, they were very particular about observing all the rituals, and we used to celebrate all the festivals. But I was really irritated by it all, and I didn't believe that these rituals or so many gods, and it really means something. So I had questions, but I was also scared because of my conditioning that I'll directly say that, hey, it's nothing, it's all rubbish. So I was not saying that also. So um, it was like that, and it was, I think, 2015 when I was working as a branch head of a business banking branch. And one day a lady came, and I think the company had some jewelry business, and they used to export to some European countries. So and they were in the business of silver jewelry making. So and this woman came, and we were generally talking about economy and how economy is changing, and it was a very, like, the normal talk. And then suddenly she said, I'm very, very worried for my daughter, and she has just gone to so and so place to study. She's all alone, she's just 17, and I'm worried. So somehow I just said, no, no, don't worry, she'll be all right. She's going to something. I said, whatever little wisdom or some kind words I knew I should be offering in a social setup like that. And I said that, and then she said, I think you should read a book. And I was like, okay, I mean, if she wants me to read a book, it's okay. I I didn't have time to read a book. I knew it. So, and moreover, I thought she's not going to come and return, and then really give me a book or to read, and or she's going to buy me a book. And she suggested, and she didn't even tell me the name, by the way. So 1 week later, she came and she had a book with her. So she said, see Ritu, here's the book, and you please read it. I took the book. She was an important customer, and I smiled and I looked at the book, and I was not impressed at all. So then she started saying, he's my guru, and his name is Neem Karoli Baba, and you just read this book. I looked at the book. I was not impressed, and I internally, I said, there are so many Babas, there are so many gurus in India, and so one more guru. So, but then I said, no, no, I'm going to definitely have a look. I'm going to read it, and it must be good. And then we generally chatted. After she left, I looked at the book and I felt nothing, and I just thought that this man is like, okay. Um, I didn't think anything bad about him. I didn't think anything good about him, but I was like, okay, very neutral, little bit to negative side, I would say. So this I did, and I kept that book in my drawer. I just kept it, and uh, yeah, so that book was there in my drawer for next 10-15 days. But whenever I reached, like, if I had to take out something from that drawer, I looked at that book, and this old gentleman's face was there, and he was So that book was The Divine Reality. So one day I had some time, after 15-20 days of the book being there with me in the office, I started reading, and I read one story, I read another story. There's short stories in the book about what this old gentleman had done for fulfilling the wishes of his devotees. So I read those stories, and I kind of internally, then again, I said, oh, this woman thought that I'm really, very, I don't have brains or something. She thought that, so she has given me this book. How did she think that I'm going to be impressed by stories of somebody, you know, listening to somebody's prayer and giving a job, or treating somebody, I mean, I was not impressed by all the leelas, as I came to know later. So I was not impressed with the stories as well. So then the book was there again in the drawer, but he's a spiritual person, so that book, I and my upbringing, and a very religious upbringing, told me not to, you know to at least keep the book where it is if I'm not reading it. So it was there. After about 2 months, 2 months I would say, my mother said she wants to go to Vrindavan, to for to some temple she wanted to go, and she said, why don't you come, and it'll be good. So I said, okay, fine, I'll come. So I thought it'll be a good drive, and because from my place to Agra, there is a good road, and Mathura, which is close to Vrindavan. So till there, the drive is going to be really good. So I thought, okay, fine, let me go with her. And we were going, and there was a driver, and we were going, and suddenly we lost our way. When we lost our way, we didn't know where we are going, and suddenly we crossed. I saw this ashram. It was written Neem Karoli Baba Ashram, and I just remember, oh, he is that man. In my drawer, so Neem Karoli Baba, I knew him, and I just said, stop, 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 stop for 2 minutes, I said. And my mom was like, what is this? Why? I said, you just wait here and I'll just go. I know this. I just said, I know this ashram. So, okay, fine. She was waiting. I was walking towards the ashram. As I entered the gate of the ashram, the first gate, there is a Hanuman temple, which is very close when you enter the front gate. And I was like, I have come to this place before. I don't know, there was this, and I felt this extreme expansion of my heart, I would say, an extreme love, and then I was crying, and it was like, and then suddenly I kind of heard Maharaj ji tell me, तो आ गई Ritu तुम. So finally you have come, Ritu. And I was crying. Nobody told me which way to go. So after entering the first gate, I took the right turn and then the left turn, and I reached the place where the Samadhi sthal is, where the main temple is. So I went there and I sat in front of the Murti, Maharaj ji and me, and there was nobody, there was no crowd that day, and I was crying and crying, and I looked at that picture, and all I can say is that it was not a picture. It was not a picture. It was not it was real Maharaj ji. It was not his Murti anymore. And as I'm narrating it now, I still have tears. And whenever I describe it or tell it to anyone, I feel that this thing is happening again. And it was like being home. And he told me, okay, finally you have come. So this was my first meeting with Maharajji, and um, nobody can tell me that it was not a meeting. No, I really met him, and it was not his murti that I was sitting in front of. It was Maharajji. I met him, and that's about it. I came back, and when I was, when I was coming out of the gate, I stayed there for 5 6 minutes because my mom was waiting. So I knew that I have come to this place before, and I also knew that I'm going to come here again and again. Yeah, I just knew it.